morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is a glorious day. What is it, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday. We know. See, you are prepared and organized. Our guest is Glenda from Gigi's Events, and welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, she has lighting and decoration and all kind of fun stuff.
I do.
All at the same time.
It is very much. I just actually retired 36 years as an art teacher, and I'm going to do this full time. So I've been doing it 8 years, actually.
Oh, my gosh. Well, good for you. We're going to find out all about your services and things that you offer and maybe hear some fun stories along the way, too. And then the second part of the show, our good friend Kelsey Stewart is here. And, well, she's going to put on like 14 hats. So we'll talk about everything with our good friend Kelsey. So I'll tell you what, we do have another message, and we'll be back and talk with Glenda here about some wedding planning and some fun things she's been up to.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with Glenda from Gigi's Events, and we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that you do. And man, I can't think of, like I said earlier, a more rewarding but yet kind of difficult, stressful thing than helping people plan their weddings, because, you know, the emotions get pretty high.
They do. But it is rewarding, yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this?
Well, actually, 8 years ago when my daughter got married, it was the worst day of my life. I was happy for her, and I loved who she was marrying. It was just way too stressful and way too much work, and I even had friends show up to help. But I just thought to myself, there's got to be a better way to do this. This is too much stress. I can't even enjoy it. So
yeah,
I always kind of wanted to do that. My background is in art and creativity. So I started my business, and actually it has progressed to the point where I'm retiring from my other job and just doing weddings. My goal is to just take the stress off the family, save money. I do things a little differently than most because some people just coordinate and some people decorate. I do both. I actually have a warehouse full of all the decorations.
Really?
So, one thing that's, I think, inconvenient when planning a wedding is you have to buy all the things and then you're stuck with them. So in this case, you just come in. It's all part of the deal. You pick out what you want. I've got anything you want to choose from centerpieces to backdrops to down to the flower girl baskets and everything. So the bride just comes in, chooses what they want. I come in. I will help decorate. I will decorate the day before. I help coordinate along the way with other vendors, and I have lots of connections to save people money. So that's my goal, just save stress and save the couple money.
You know, and I'm thinking back to my wedding, and everything that you just said that you do, we had to do on our own, including spending probably thousands of dollars in flowers and centerpieces and whatever to be used for 6 hours, and then what do you do with them? Exactly. Well, ours got recycled a bunch. Like, they just went from bride to bride to bride that summer, I feel like. But, yeah, it would be so nice if you could just had somebody that had all that stuff. Because I can remember spending days and days looking for the flowers that I wanted in Columbus and you know, all over the place for the right centerpieces and all that. So good for you. Thank you for doing all of this. So, I would have to think, though, that everybody has a different style, right?
They do, yes.
So you have to have all, like, anything from,
I'll
traditional to, like, really abstract stuff, probably.
I have so much stuff that my grown children actually tell me that when I die, they're just going to light a match to it because they don't want to deal with it. So that's how much stuff I have. I have everything. Lots of things.
She has a warehouse full of things.
I do.
That's actually really cool. So do you just accumulate over the years?
I do,
then?
and I need adult supervision when I go shopping, and I have a lot of things given to me as well. Brides just don't want it and but now I'm to the point where they don't even buy anything. So
that is
lots.
So cool. That is good. So, okay, so tell us, number one, like what areas do you service around here?
Well, I'm from Scioto, the venue and die once they get there. I've had ex-wives show up and lay on the horn during the ceremony. Big fights with family. One thing that I highly suggest, and this has been a problem a couple of times, is brides and grooms that don't usually drink a lot decide on their wedding day they're going to do that. Not a good idea.
That would be the day that you probably shouldn't do.
Right, exactly. I had a bride fall after he said I do and crack his head up, and we had to call the ambulance. Yeah, that's not a good plan. So there's nothing that surprises me really at this point.
Okay, I have to know about the runaway. Back to the runaway groom thing. What do you do?
Well, that was the first time that had ever happened to me. And so,
there's no playbook for what you do, right?
I didn't know the couple. They had contacted me, had heard about me, and just contacted me. So I didn't know them or know their families or anything about them. So the wedding was actually in Gallipolis. And at the rehearsal, I could tell, I had a sense this isn't going to go well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a lot of arguing, tension. I just thought, this isn't going to go well. So the next day, I never drink. Actually, the groom stormed off from the rehearsal and left. And so I just thought he just needs some time to cool down. It's
or maybe
stress.
the tensions are high.
Well, he didn't show up the day of the wedding. The wedding was supposed to be at 4:00, and I got there early in the morning, and he was supposed to be there at 10, and he didn't show up. It was time for pictures. He didn't show up. So, of course, I go to the bride didn't know this, but the other people were coming to me telling me the groom was not there. So I found his mother, and we were making calls. I was calling. I said, give me a list. Who cuts his hair? Where does he work? Who's his friends? Who can I call? Who would know where this man is? So I was frantically on the phone calling.
It's not funny, but it is. It's like
his brother didn't know. His mom didn't know. No one could find him. And so the bride, bless her heart, she found out. Someone had told her. And so she asked me, is he coming? Is he coming? And I said, honey, I don't know, but I'm doing my best. So we were trying to find him. And finally, it got down to, it was less than an hour before the ceremony, and he wasn't there. And I thought, he's not coming. So I was trying to decide, should I tell her? Should her mother tell her? Should the minister tell her? Who should break this news? So, and I didn't really want to be the one to do it. So I went to the minister and I said, look, we need to go to the two of us together and talk to her. And they were getting dressed. They were getting married in a church, and they were getting dressed in a building beside that. So we were walking across to the church, and he actually showed up 10 minutes before the wedding. So the minister took him in and talked to him to make sure this is what he wanted to do. I wasn't there for that, but they actually went through with it. Yeah,
should have been discussed before.
Yeah, but they went through with it, and
they did.
They did, and I actually looked them up just because I'm nosy and I wanted to know. I looked them up to see if
you have to know
they were still married a little while later, and they were, and they're still married, and they actually have children, so it worked out. But the other groom just didn't come, but he did let her know a day before. So yeah, I've had that twice.
Wow, it's like the movie, except for it's the groom, not the bride. Mm-hmm. You haven't had any runaway brides, have you?
I had one cancel her wedding, but it was a couple of months before. So.
Okay, well
just one of those.
Listen,
yeah,
you'd rather that happen.
I think her mom was more upset than anyone because she'd purchased all this stuff and paid for the venue. So yeah.
So what do you find, in your line of work what are the things that can go wrong or that you have to do the most on the wedding days?
Well, I always tell the brides in advance, something's going to go wrong. There's going to be something that happens. It could be little, it could be big. But
one of my silk flower arrangements at the reception caught on fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was like a draft through the thing, and the candle just kept going. Yeah, and it fireworks.
Hopefully it's something small. We always get through it, but I do warn them ahead of time. I've had some really bad things happen, and then some small things. But usually, every wedding there's something. Probably the most common thing would be something going wrong with the cake. It seems like I don't know why. Like they'll fall on the way to being delivered, or
I could
that's
see
a big
where
problem.
that would be. I mean, they're not easy to transport,
or just friction between the wedding party a lot of times, and I'm being the liaison trying to.
Yeah, you got to be like the voice of reason for everybody. So, all right, I asked you this question off the air. I'm going to ask you this question on the air. Who's worse to deal with, the brides or the moms?
The moms, I'm afraid to say.
I would have guessed that.
I think a lot of times they mean well, and I know that. They just want to relive their wedding a lot of times.
Or they didn't get one and they're trying to live through.
The bride is, they're wanting to make a lot of decisions, and the bride is in the background going, no. So I have to try to just politely remind them, I understand you're paying for the wedding and a lot of it, and you feel like you have a call, but we have to remember this is her day. And they always come around, it's all right. But
yeah,
they just want everything to be perfect, and they stress out.
I get it. I mean, if I had a daughter and she was getting married, I would be probably that same way too. Like, everything has to go perfectly. I want her to be a princess for the day. Well, or always, but,
In hindsight, you were asking me what's the most common. Actually, the weather is.
I would say weather would be rough.
Weather is a tough one. That's why I don't like to do tent weddings. They're just way too risky. So
yeah. Plus, that was advice that somebody gave me. I was convinced I wanted the tent reception, not wedding, but reception. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and it was actually my dad who said, he was like, Jennifer, can we just talk about this for a minute? And I was like, okay. And he was like, you have 2 grandmothers coming, actually 3 grandmothers coming. You have some people that may have some mobility issues. You have some people that, may not be comfortable in the July heat or the August heat. Like, think about this for a minute. And I was like, plus you have the weather to, and I was like, you know what? That is kind of like, I get what you're saying. It could be super duper hot. It could be raining. People might stumble trying to get into the tent. Like, I get it. So he was my voice of reason with that.
I've actually had ants ruin the food. No one could eat it because the ants.
Oh, ants. Not like ants.
No,
like
not in relative, like insects. Yeah.
You mean, and
no. Bugs, yeah, that's a big one. And people don't realize by the time they pay for the tent, they pay for a dance floor, they pay for lighting, they pay for a generator for the DJ, they pay for all those things, tables and chairs. And
yes.
It really doesn't save money. And there's so many venues around that people don't even know about, that I didn't know about, that I didn't now know of, that are very affordable. So
okay, and that's where someone like you comes in, because you have all of that knowledge of like everything to do with that, with different venues, different places for rental of this, that, and the other. And that's what you get paid for.
Yes.
That's awesome. Like I said, where were you all my life? This is great. So do you do anything besides weddings?
I do. I do a lot of graduation parties. I do any kind of like anniversary parties. I do corporate Christmas parties.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just anything party related. I also do, since I'm an art teacher by trade, I do painting parties. And kids' birthday parties. We will do painting parties or just theme parties. So anything party related, really.
Okay. So anything that someone wants to celebrate. Or do you do funeral parties?
I've never done one of those.
I'll bet you someone asked you to do that.
I've never done that.
One of these days. You wouldn't be surprised though, right?
I've never done a divorce party either. So, fun note. I've done this 8 years, and I've only had one couple of all the weddings, and I do weddings practically every weekend, hundreds of weddings, only had one divorce. So it's a good track record.
I'd say, okay, hire her. That is awesome. Well, speaking of, and Liv was telling me over here that you're actually helping her plan her wedding.
I'm going to help her, yes, as much as I can.
Super cool. So tell us how people get hold of you. How's that?
Well,
work?
The best way to get a hold of me, since I was doing this as a side job. I didn't really have a website because I had enough business that I didn't need to really advertise.
Sure.
But Facebook is the best place to get a hold of me, either through GG Events or by just my personal Facebook page is Glenda Gallion. That's the best way to get a hold of me. So, and
Okay.
I will, when someone contacts me, what I will do is send them a slideshow of how I can help. So in advance, they can be thinking before we meet about what all they want. So.
Oh, that's smart. Speaking of, we do have some pictures, don't we, Adrian? You want to go through those and we can kind of talk about some of the stuff?
They're from the slideshow.
Oh, they're from
those
your
are
slideshow.
from my slideshow.
Okay.
So those are just a few pictures on my slideshow. I actually will help with food. Also, my assistant caters, so we will help with food if it's 50 people or less, and we do that mostly for graduation parties. But that's why the food pictures there.
Okay. And then those are some flower
And
arrangements.
those are just decorations.
Keep going. There we go.
Just some different examples of arches and decorations, bouquets, and
See, but look how different those are, I guess, is my... you know, you
everyone's
have-
different.
So I would be like the bottom right one. That would be like my jam. But I could see where people would be like more traditional.
This
and-
year, I've actually had every wedding, with the exception of one since spring, has been wildflowers. That's a big thing this year. They just
can
want the
see that.
wildflower colors. So
Yeah. That's how I mean, I just like everything. All the bright colors and
I've done a lot of
everything cheery.
themed weddings. I'm actually doing a Harry Potter wedding, and I have
Fun.
no idea what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fun time.
I think so. Just get a little wand. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
I
I,
don't know
do
anything about
jokingly
Harry
call
Potter.
myself the fairy godmother, so I told her I would change my wand in for a, what is it called?
Is it a wand? What is it?
Stick,
A wand?
whatever.
A stick.
I don't know.
You could be
I
the,
don't know about Harry Potter, but
You could be the Harry godmother. Get it?
that's a good one.
Pun intended. Okay. No, very good. All right, so Glenda, get a hold of this lady if you need something planned, a party planned, whether, we still have graduations going on. We have all kind of stuff. About how long should someone in advance get a hold of you if they are getting married?
As soon as they get engaged. I like to be the first person they contact because I can save you a ton of money with knowing how much venues are, what all your needs are. And before people start calling around and paying for all these things, there's things to look out for, what venues will provide. And I like to give them some insight on some of those things. For example, some venues will charge you extra to be there on the day before to decorate or have a rehearsal, and then some doesn't, some don't. So I can give you helpful information. I'm booking, I've got all my fall is booked up this year, but I have availability after that, and then I'm already booking into 26, so it's never too soon.
Okay, so that's the thing. Get a hold of her like immediately. As soon as you get engaged and you know you're having a wedding,
Yes.
call Glenda. Yes. The
I'll be
Harry
happy to help.
godmother. She's going to kill me.
No, that's good.
Well, very good. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers while you're here?
No, I'd be happy. This is my full-time job now, so I need to build some weddings, and I'll be happy to help save you money and stress.
I think that sounds absolutely amazing, and thank God for you for some of these brides, because it is a rough thing planning a wedding on your own.
That's fun.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
hanging
you.
out with
Thank
us
you.
this
I
morning.
appreciate it.
We greatly appreciate it. If you have anything coming up, let us know, and you're more than welcome to come back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a couple of messages here, and then our good friend Kelsey will be here, and we'll talk about chamber things and every other thing she has to talk about. We'll be right back.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, and welcome back. And we are here with our good friend Kelsey Stewart.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming in.
Of course. Love visiting you.
Oh, I love when you visit me. You're so sweet. So tell us, so you're still doing chamber things and teaching and all that too.
Yeah.
But, you're a teacher. You have the summers off. You don't do anything.
No, nothing at all. I'm still doing the chamber thing and the marquee thing. And the
All the
sidewalk
stuff and
market
things.
thing, and the theater thing. How many more things could I have? So
the mom thing.
The mom thing.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a big one.
Yeah, you kind of can't forget that one.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that does hinder some of the other things that I do, actually.
Yeah.
Makes it a little more difficult. Well, the first thing that I'll talk about is for the chamber. We have a golf outing coming up on the 27th.
Okay.
So if you know anyone that enjoys golf, have them come join us.
Well, there's a lot of that around here.
Yes, I know. I mean, I do help run the outing. I don't know anything about golf.
Just say
It's my 4th year, and I'm just
yell for a lot.
Yes,
I don't know.
I think that's what it is. I'm really good at driving the golf cart.
Okay.
I feel like that's a
that's a thing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
That's your
one year.
contribution.
Yes.
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 Golf tournament. Okay. Chamber golf outing. So is this like a team thing or an
Yes.
individual thing?
It's a team of 4, and it's a scramble.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what that means. I don't either. So
I think that means
the best shot, right?
Yeah, I think that means like you have 4 people on your team, but you take like the best shot of each player.
Yeah. I don't score it, so that's a good thing. I do not score that for you if you are wanting to join us.
I do know
on
what
this golf
shotgun
outing.
start means.
I do too.
I learned that.
Yes.
Because it has nothing to do with a shotgun.
It doesn't. No.
Which is good news.
Yeah, truly. We actually did a 5K, and one of our board members, I think it was the 5K or it was this outing, when it said shotgun start, she thought that there was going to be a legitimate shotgun. And we learned that there's not.
Yeah.
So.
No.
That's great
It's all
news.
good.
That's great news. But yeah, there's that one. And then after that, we have the sidewalk market on the 3rd.
Okay.
So we are having that in conjunction with the fireworks.
So it just so happens that the dates fell that way, and the sidewalk market on the 3rd is actually going to move out to the park. Is that what I understand?
So part of it is we're going to do both. We're going to have one section of it on Main Street and potentially Broadway if we have enough interest.
Okay.
And then another section with about 20 vendors, I think is our cap, are going to go to the park and be a part of it there.
Very cool.
Yes.
And, the 3rd of July here in Jackson, at least, is, our celebration day. Mm-hmm. So it starts off with the 5K.
Yeah. Well,
then,
actually, which is kind of confusing. The 5K is the next morning.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's always
That
on
is
the 4th.
confusing.
I
My
know.
bad. Okay.
It's always on the 4th.
Shut up, Jen.
Our 5K is on the 4th, and the fireworks are always on the 3rd.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. So the
But
fireworks,
there is going to be
that
fun
celebration.
pretty much all day because they're going to have some activities catered to kids in the park.
Yes.
From 4 to 6 with
Okay.
Faith and Fitness and Apple Tots and some face painting in the shelter house. So you can go down early.
Love that. And then stay for the fireworks, check out all the vendors.
Yes, and some food trucks will
walk
be down
around
there.
downtown.
Yes, and definitely come visit downtown because we will have things there.
So, this is a perfect opportunity, kind of one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
And fireworks.
Yes.
And fireworks.
What more could you want?
Why are fireworks so fun?
I don't know. They are.
I mean,
though.
they're like, if you think about it, it's terrifying.
It's crazy.
But we all just go and stand underneath this dynamite stuff that's blowing up in the sky and think it's really cool.
Yep, and because it is done with the firefighters who are in charge of the event, so all of our all of the vendor fees are going to that association.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so they can continue doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cool thing about Jackson here is we started that Christmas time for fireworks display as well. So
Yes, fireworks all the time.
Yes, all fireworks all the time.
Year round fireworks.
Love it. Okay, so we do have that coming up as well. What else is going on?
Right, then the 5K, which is what we mentioned. So
but don't listen to Jen. You got to show up the next day.
It is the next day. It's the 4th. If you register before the 27th, so you have 10 more days, you get a T-shirt included. The design on that flyer there is the T-shirt design.
Okay.
And if you go to Tri-State Racer, you can find us on there. And we have so many wonderful sponsors who help make this possible. And we're excited to do it. It is actually a pretty fun time.
I'm just going to tell you. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to run.
No, it is a run walk.
You can walk your dog. You can walk, push a stroller.
Yeah, I pushed a stroller in it a couple times.
You can walk. You can... I gallop.
Yeah.
You know where I go.
Yes, you do.
I gallop wherever I go. So
she prancing.
You know, it's just a thing. If you want to gallop the 5K, it's okay.
And it is a cool 5K because you do run downtown.
Yeah.
So you get to see the businesses. You get to kind of see what the town is like. It's really cool for people to come from outside of the...
And man, is it a big race.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of people.
Yes.
Which makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
Because like you've got all that excitement in the air.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. We also do plaques for walkers. So just once again to emphasize that you do not have to run. And we have so many different age groups that a lot of people walk away with a medal.
Very cool. And that's something. And it starts at what time? Is it 8?
Starts at 9, but registration begins at 8.
Okay. So, and you can go to Tri-State Racer and sign up ahead of time. Make sure you snag one of those great T-shirts.
Yes, please do.
So that will be awesome. And okay, so, and then you're done. You've worked out for the day.
Yes.
You can then go
Get a hot dog
to a
or
cookout,
hamburgers, right?
You know, you can do whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great.
Guilt-free.
Now, is that, if it rains, is it still?
It's still on.
Still on. Okay.
I will actually say last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, it was in the rain.
Okay.
And it was pretty refreshing. It was actually really nice. It was a really nice treat to run and then be like, okay, I kind of feel cool now.
Yeah. This is great.
And then I had enough friends also that if it did decide to storm, we could have just ducked into a house.
A house or
a house down to a business.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
but it still
cool.
goes on.
Okay. Cool beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to gallop in it?
I don't know. I'm kind of out of galloping shape.
no.
I need to get to going.
You do.
I need to get to galloping.
You do. Bring it back.
Well, here it is. I have to call Chris O'Boyle. He'll have to help me with my galloping. Yeah. He knows how I gallop. Yeah. So she's thinking, this girl is absolutely 100% certifiably insane.
Well, she
Glenda's
is.
still here.
She definitely is, actually.
I am insane, but I do gallop places.
But that's not why she's insane.
But that's not why I'm insane. I mean, that's probably the most normal thing I do.
I think you're right on that one.
All right. So what else do you guys have going on?
Oh,
My goodness.
So if I would to put on my Marquet hat.
Yes, please.
We have a children's art camp coming up.
This is so cool.
Yes, we love doing it. It is a free summer art camp because we get a grant to do that. So I'm glad he pulled this up there for us.
Thanks,
so
Adrian.
It is from July 7th to July 23rd, and it runs Mondays and Wednesdays. There are 3 time slots. So you can bring your kid at 10 to 11, all 3 weeks, 11:30 to 12:30, or 1 to 2. And we have 3 teachers who we are actually still looking and vetting. We've had some applications, but we would love to... I just want to see how many different people we can get in there.
Okay.
So 3 different teachers, 3 different art lessons, and your kids get to come home with really cool things and learn a lot.
So what are some of the projects that the kids have worked on over the years?
Goodness. So we have done like Picasso-inspired collages before with construction paper because our age group is kind of younger. So we do
what, 5 to 12?
Yes.
Something like
Or
that?
5 to 9. I can't remember. But yeah, it's kind of a younger demographic. So we've done Picasso-inspired collages. We do a lot of painting. Josie from Faith and Fitness helped us last year, and she did some abstract paintings, and they were really, really cool. And the kids got to name them whatever they kind of saw after they made it.
Oh, I love that's neat.
It was really nice. We had Brianna Exline help us last year too, and she did a art lesson that came with a book because she owns that Bookish by Brie.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
that was really cool too. So the kids got to like incorporate art in books and did chalk drawing actually outside too because of another book. It was a really good one. Goodness. We have done a 3D art before. So many different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I've had several different people ask if I mind if like their Girl Scout troop or their kids and their friends come and do chalk art outside of our space. And I'm like, Why would anyone mind that?
Yeah.
Like, yes, please come.
Fancy it up for us.
Fancy up our sidewalks. Like, just don't draw anything inappropriate.
That's why it's good that they're
this
kids.
is why we adults aren't allowed to do it.
Yes, absolutely. That is why kids are doing the art.
Yes, because we adults draw inappropriate things.
Always.
But the kids, no, please. And I think that could be a fun sidewalk market thing. Maybe give the kids sidewalk chalk and like let them decorate the downtown.
That would be awesome if we do that kids market. I think typically we did August last time, maybe.
Yeah, because I think it was in front of our place.
Yeah, yes, you are the best also for letting us do whatever we need, whenever we need. You're greatest.
Love it.
But yeah, that would be awesome then too.
Yeah,
just bring them all down. Very cool.
Lots of. And because kids come up with the cheeriest,
they
most
really do.
fun things.
They really do.
Because they're not jaded like we are yet.
Life hasn't got to.
They don't hate the world yet.
Life has not got to these kids. Keep them young. Oh.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So that would be really fun. So the kids are. How do they sign up for that?
So if you go to either the Southern Hills Arts Council Facebook page or the Marquet Facebook page, or you can even go to marquetarts.org. It's our website that we now have back up and running. There's a Google form, and you would fill that out and give us the information, and then I'll contact you in a couple weeks.
And here's the thing, if you're not artsy yourself, or your kid has just never had like a lot of experience with it, this is a great opportunity. It's free.
Yes.
It's 3 weeks, an hour at a time.
Yes.
Like
you could go get yourself a coffee.
You
could, drop them off. Go get yourself a
Literally.
coffee. All of these classes are held at the Marquet. In the past, we used to do 3 different locations. But it's just a little easier for us to manage at the Marquet.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
But give yourself an hour break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they will enjoy, and maybe they'll find that little artist within them that they didn't know that existed.
Yes. There are so many different mediums of art anyway. The first year I did it, we did a music section, a theater section, and an art section. So we have the potential to cover all kinds of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It was really fun.
You know what? My musical talent is I play a mean triangle.
I believe it.
So if anybody out there, and I've told Morgan Washam, I've told Ben Davis, like all the people that I know that play music, if they need anybody to supplement their talent with the triangle, I am more than happy to come do it.
This is great news, actually, because I'm also in a play. I didn't even mention that to you. August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Little Shop of Horrors, and we have a live band. I don't know if there's a triangle in it, but there should be.
There should be a triangle player.
Yeah, we'll add it in. And maybe a cowbell. I feel like you would be.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I would just beat the tar out of that sucker.
You'd be so good at it. You'd be like Will Ferrell.
Yes. Oh, yeah, much.
More cowbell.
More cowbell.
Yeah. Yes. But that's another fun thing that we're getting ready to do at the Marquet.
So let's talk about our art group and the Apple City Players and some of the things. First, is it the first musical?
It is the first musical.
Little Shop of Horrors.
It's
so
exciting.
good. We're going to come up with a big plant.
Yes.
Have you figured that out yet?
We actually are renting puppets.
Oh, okay.
So they're massive. They haven't come in yet, but they are very, very large. It's exciting. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys have anything between now and then that you're doing? Because you did this kind of a spring.
Yes.
What was that? Steel Magnolias?
Yes.
And then, so Little Shop of Horrors will be in August.
Yes. And then I don't remember what's after that, but there is something. Yeah.
There is something.
There is always something.
And then
you
don't
can find
forget,
that on our Facebook. Too.
Yeah, we have like the kids' Christmas thing always comes up.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
That's really cool.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about number one, who got the bright idea to do a musical? Because it hasn't happened before.
No. Well, we just discovered that we have a lot of musical talent, like a lot more than we realized in the group and in the community, and kind of wanted an outlet for that.
Love that.
And so we said, why not?
And how did Little Shop of Horrors come to be? And you know what? I'm just thinking back. I can't even remember like the whole story behind that.
Oh, you got to watch it.
Okay.
It's really good. I just think it was kind of a fun, campy play.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why we did land on that one. Next year we're going to do Heathers. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think we're kind of into like the campy,
that
fun
one gets a little
plays.
dark.
It does, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
So does Little Shop, actually.
Oh, does it? So what's the premise behind it?
So there is a Man Seymour, who works in a flower shop.
Is that Rick Moranis?
That is.
Okay.
And Jules is playing that.
Okay. Of course she is.
Yeah, fantastic. So, struggling flower shop on Skid Row, finds this strange and exotic plant, starts taking care of it. The plant is, I don't want to give anything away. The plant is like not great.
It's a bad plant.
It's a bad plant. So some things happen with that, and
and some stuff and things.
There's some stuff and things. What, I don't know if you haven't seen it. I don't want to ruin it for you, but the plant is not great.
Okay. And that will be a puppet. So you won't have a real not great plant.
No, I hope not.
Okay.
I hope not. It's
Or
like,
maybe
so
the
it's
puppet.
like we'll just say it's Venus flytrap inspired. If that
Yes.
assists you in understanding the
Except
plant.
for it's a lot bigger.
A lot bigger.
Yeah.
And they don't eat flies. So
Yeah. It eats other things.
other things.
Yeah.
Like people. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Or people.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's fun. So Jules and I are both in it.
Very cool. Now, what do you get to play?
Audrey.
Okay.
Do you know who
No.
that is? Okay. I am the I also work in the flower shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get to sing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who knew that this girl had that talent as well?
No, no one. And do I? You can see and judge if there really is talent there. So that's for you. That's for you to determine.
That's for you all to decide.
Yeah. But it's been really fun. It's been a fun experience.
I'll bet.
So definitely come and see that.
Is it because in talking with the high school kids that they do the fall play and then they do the spring musicals, and there's one thing to act in a play. There's another thing to have to act in a play and then sing and dance on top of that.
Yeah.
Are you finding that like another challenge, or?
So I prefer the singing because I can remember things better.
Okay.
Like I can remember. I think that's common. Like you can remember songs a lot more than you can remember.
For sure.
Like the Constitution or something.
Right. 7 years ago.
Which is not the Constitution. So.
No, it is not. That is the Gettysburg Address.
Which is great.
Yes.
Good job. Way to remember that. But songs are much easier for me, and I don't have to dance. Other people are dancing, but
Okay.
I do not have to dance.
So you just sing and act.
I just sing and act.
Okay. Very good.
It's great. It's very good.
So, does the Marquet have some other fun things coming up this summer?
So we are in the midst of planning a film camp, which hasn't been released yet. We did get the grant to do that.
Fun.
Yes, it should be really fun. So we're gonna kind of do a I can't remember how many weeks it is. It's either 3 or 6. Jules is in charge of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are gonna start from script to screen. So they're gonna write a script, film some things, learn how to edit that, put it together, and
Is this for kids or adults?
it's for
Or-
kids.
or everybody.
It's for like the high school age group.
Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is really cool because they're going to be learning a lot of stuff that they wouldn't
Yes.
have the opportunity to learn
Yes,
otherwise.
and we have
probably.
Nicole Regal who's going to help us.
How did you snag that?
Jules has every connection.
Love-
so we're
love
really
me some
excited.
Nicole. She's
we're
so
really
sweet.
excited. Yeah, so that's going to be a huge asset
Yes.
to these kids.
So, crazy thing. So, Nicole Regal, if you don't know, is the girl from Jackson that, has done great things, made several movies, but Holler was the one that she made here kind of locally. So, I'm, flipping through number one Showtime one day. It's on Showtime.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I'm on an airplane. And
there.
Holler is
That's
on the
crazy,
airplane.
isn't it?
And I'm like, I know this girl. Like,
Yes. So get your kids registered in that, or register yourself.
So
Like,
she
that
is a true filmmaker,
Yeah.
and our kids are going to have that opportunity to learn from her.
Yeah. Yep.
And when's that going to be, or do you know?
I do not know yet.
Okay.
It's going to be in July though.
It'll be in the works. It's in the works.
It's in July.
Okay.
Yes.
Very, very fun. All right, so what else do you have going on?
Goodness, I think that's it. I think that's it.
So, the 4th of July, I know sometimes with your back to the sidewalk markets, sometimes they have themes, sometimes they don't. Is there a theme for the 4th of July?
Just
or
4th of July.
Just 4th of July
Just 4th
themed?
of July, yes.
Okay.
So we usually do themes with a cause. Like last time we did some kidney themed thing because we have several people in the community, including one of our friends.
Like our sweet Brittany
yes.
here.
So we wanted to collect that money and then kind of disperse it out to help where we could. So
Okay.
same thing here, where we are collecting money and going to disperse it to the Firemen's Association.
Love that.
Yeah, so this one's just 4th of July themed.
Okay. And then do you know about August yet?
I don't for sure. I'm sure I
Okay.
have it written down, but my brain has
It's
removed
okay.
that information at this time.
It's okay.
It's just dumped
I've
it.
thrown a lot at
It's
you.
dumped it. It's fine. I throw a lot at you. How many more things can I put on here?
I love that. No, thank you for all that you do
course.
in the community, because you do wear a lot of hats, and all of them are so beneficial to the folks here
Well, thank
in our
you.
community.
We love doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're good at it.
Thanks. Thanks.
So keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, our good friend Pete Wilson has walked in the studio. So we will let Kelsey get back to work and put on all of her different hats.
Yeah.
And we'll have another message, and we'll be back with our good friend Pete Wilson. Thanks for stopping
Of
by.
course. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, there we are. Okay, and we are back with Pete Wilson, and I bet you have some news.
We do have some, as a matter of fact, and we're going to have a little discussion with you, see what you think, too.
Okay.
I'm going to pick your brain. If you, at your own risk, you can give an opinion.
That's
But-
scary.
All right,
Okay.
exactly. Okay, well, you're Lou Davis's daughter, so you might do that.
There is an opinion,
Okay.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, anyway, this is a real neat story that we're going to have out in the paper on Wednesday and online later today. But a lot of people may not have realized this, but there was a major water rescue effort by our emergency responders on Sunday
Really?
afternoon. Remember, we had all that rain on the weekend.
Yeah.
Especially Sunday afternoon. It came down really hard.
Holy moly.
We had a flood warning. Adrian has just put up kind of like a long view of this picture looks like it was taken on Athens Street in Jackson, just outside of the city limits. As you look towards
Yep.
that group of emergency responders, you can see in the distance, you can see the overpass of 35 in the distance, just to get your bearings there. But the water came up pretty quickly. They shut down Athens Street. They shut down State Route 788 farther, out
Yes.
of town. This is the home where the waters came up around, just
Wow.
outside the corporation limits. That is the address is 1406 State Route 788. It's not an Athens Street address because it's just outside the city. But if you look all around, you can't see the back,
Man.
but there is water all the way around. Well, there was folks in that house.
Oh, no.
And so, you can see, when it's not a big stream and you're in a low-lying place, the water can come up very quickly. Here is one of the firefighters, maybe a firefighter, a different emergency responder, carrying out a child
Oh, my
through the
gosh.
water there. Not sure how deep the water was, but it was deep enough and fast enough that it wasn't safe for people just to walk out on their own, obviously.
Sure.
So anyway, New Jackson Fire Chief Kyle Hickey gave me the information on this. So we'll have those photos run as well as the details. But this occurred at 4:58 p.m. Sunday. That's when the fire department was called, and they acted really quickly. They got a lot of help. They did what they call a swift water rescue response, and coming in to help the Jackson Fire Department was the hazmat team from Wellston, the Wellston Swift Water Rescue Group, which is equipped and trained to deal with situations like this. Of course, the Jackson Police Department, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Jackson County EMS, the Jackson County Dog Warden was there because of pets involved.
Oh,
the Scioto
my.
Township Fire Department, the Madison Jefferson Fire Department from down Oak Hill Way, ODOT, the Jackson County Highway Department, and even the American Red Cross in case they were needed. But as a result of this quick effort by all these emergency responders, a total of 14 people were taken out of that house
Whoa.
safely. I'm not sure. They had boats involved. You may have seen it in one of the pictures. I'm not sure if everybody was in a boat or some people were able to walk out with help. But according to Chief Hickey, as a result of their effort, there was 7 adults, 6 children, 1 infant, and several pets, all rescued. A extra event that made this just a little bit more dangerous was that a 500-gallon propane tank was in the roadway, and a fuel oil tank was floating down a creek that became lodged under a bridge. Now, I'm not sure if that was related to the water around this particular residence or if it was separate from that, but those flammable items were both encountered by the firefighters and the emergency responders while they were doing this. This all occurred just after 5 p.m. on Sunday. I actually, when I heard that Athens Street was closed, I actually went out to the scene to take a picture of a flooded street, for the newspaper.
Thinking that's all you were going to get.
Little did I know. Well, I wasn't at the scene because I didn't know it happened, but I actually could see vehicles down the street. I just figured it was on the other end of where the road was flooded, but that was all these emergency responders.
Oh my goodness.
Working. And on my end, it was about where Winters Concrete was, where they had the road blocked. And, there was water over the road and, the sawhorses there and everything. But I had no idea that a major rescue effort was no more than a quarter of a mile down the road there. But that's a great story, and we will have it in our Wednesday edition of the paper and online later on. And I tell you what, we will warn you, we have a flood watch on right now. It's in effect until this evening. And I looked ahead. We have a great chance of rain both Wednesday and Thursday. And the streams and the low-lying areas are already saturated with a lot of water and above normal levels. So we will tell everybody to be careful. I understand that elsewhere in the county, there were other places where the roads were covered with water, and motorists had to turn around or whatever. I'm sure there were some roads closed that I didn't hear about.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of traffic, I want to remind everybody again, if they haven't already encountered this, remember State Route 93 between Sternberger Road and Clay Manor Road is closed. That section of 93 completely closed both ways. There's no one-lane traffic, no restricted traffic, no part of the day where you can get through. That's probably going to go on till about July the 3rd. That's a date that I have heard.
Now, whereabouts is that on 93?
Well,
is that before Camba or after?
It is just before Camba. So if you're going south from Jackson, Camba Road would be your last chance to turn off and go another way.
And how?
And that's not the approved detour, but that's
it'd be
the
local detour.
That's the local person's detour.
How long is the closure?
It's between Sternberger Road and Clay Manor Road. I'm guessing that's a couple miles at least.
Oh, so that long.
So if you're coming from Oak Hill, Clay Manor or Pyro Road, which kind of intersect, that's your last chance to get around.
Okay.
Folks coming from Jackson, they can turn on Canberra Road and kind of go around using maybe Franklin Valley Road.
Yes.
And further south, Antioch Road if you're going down towards Oak Hill. Or if you want to avoid going down 93 at all, you can, turn on 4 Mile Road and go down Franklin Valley Road and loop around, and you can get to Oak Hill a little bit better than the detour that has you going maybe 10 miles out of the way.
Yeah, it's way out of the way.
But that's what the state has to do. It can't route truckers and through traffic through local roads where the people coming from out of town probably would not know how or where to go.
Why
and you
is
don't
that
want all that
closed?
traffic on those roads anyway. It's a culvert replacement project. And that started last Monday. They have the signs posted over the weekend. So, be careful on that because, there's always some construction going on. You don't think a whole lot about it. But that's a main road kind of between Jackson and Oak Hill. And you need to know that you're going to run into it. If you're a local and you've traveled that way before, you probably know how to adjust. But, if you're on a schedule and what, it can throw you off. It can throw you off. It can throw you out of whack and behind schedule.
Sure.
All right, well, here's the thing I want to discuss, Jennifer, and that is the plans on what to do with the Memorial Building, the Jackson Memorial Building at 145 Broadway.
Quite
Broadway
controversial.
Right. Well, there's going to be differing opinions for sure. Here is the Jackson Memorial Building, as it looks today. That building was built in 1936 during WPA. For many years, it served as the home of the American Legion, the Jackson City Library. Later became a municipal building, actually. The police department used to be in there. Now, only a portion of that building is used because of the conditions inside. The mayor's office is there, the service director's office, some of the auxiliary staffs of the city administration. But the city auditor used to be in there, not in there anymore. The utility offices are not in there anymore. The new plan, the architect, the consulting architect came to the last Jackson City Council meeting, gave his recommendation. His name is Jim Thomas, and Jackson Mayor Randy Evans endorsed that recommendation. And it's different from the one that was given on January 27th when there was a first report about the feasibility study that the architects did.
Okay.
At first, the preferred option, I think was the quote, or was the phrase used, was to renovate the memorial building and probably eliminate the auditorium, which is not used as much as it used to, and they could use that space in a renovation project. Now, the recommendation, the final recommendation, this is not set in stone, pun intended. It is not set in stone, not set in concrete, but it is what the mayor would like to do and what the architect is suggesting. That is to demolish the current building and rebuild on that spot what they would call a city hall. The utility offices would come back from the building where the police station is. The auditor's office would come back down from the little building on Walnut Street that they share with the water department. It would come back and everybody would be in the city hall. The police department would stay where it is, and they would actually have more room because the council chambers would also go to the city hall building. So those three entities would join the administration there. The advantages of doing that, according to the architect and the mayor, is that, and this might not be easy to understand for people that are not involved in construction and don't know a lot about the current state of the memorial building, is it's cheaper to tear it down and start all over than it is to do a major overhaul.
Sure.
Also, when you do a new building, this is another one of the points made by the mayor. You can do the layout, the setup, the way you want. You're not trying to convert something that maybe was not built for what you need into something that you can use as opposed to what you would like to have.
Right. And I mean, oh boy. Yeah, I understand all the arguments, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you do renovate an old building, you still have an old building that's been renovated. That's not handicap accessible in any way, shape, or form, plus a whole lot of other things.
Right, the handicapped accessibility is not
I mean,
there
look at those steps. Like, I'm winded by the time I get up those steps.
Well,
I can't imagine,
The way I understand it, there's not going to be steps. It's going to be 2 floors, but there's an elevator to get to the second floor. So you got your handicapped accessibility built in, which is not built into the current building, by the way.
Definitely not.
There's stairs. There's
pull that back up, Adrian.
There's no way around it. Also, you can see the number of steps. Adrian, show us the bricks, the brick look that they're thinking of. Once again, I cannot say this so much. I was told this by Tracy Plants, who is a project manager down there, and by the mayor. Even though this is what they want to do, this is just conceptual, possibility.
It's just a thought.
This is how it could look, that nice red brick look. You can see the memorial building etched into the concrete. You can see the pillars kind of looking as it is now. The 145 Broadway there on the door. This is how it could look. They would also use some of the limestone in the current building kind of as a way to do some preservation.
Pay
anyway.
homage
Not
to
the bricks.
building.
The bricks are not in good enough shape, but the limestone is. And they would possibly use this. Once again, it's a possibility, it's an if. But also, if you know Randy Evans, he likes to get things done.
Yes.
So he wants to move. There's going to be, the next council meeting is going to be preceded by what they call a service committee meeting.
Okay.
It also is going to double, not only as a discussion of the memorial building project by the service committee, which now all council committees are composed of the entire council. All right.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
This is a public informational meeting. So if you want to weigh in on it, you want to endorse the idea, you don't like the idea, this is your chance to have public input. Because here's another thing that's a little surprising. They were angling for a lot of grant money, obviously, instead of using city money. And they got some money. There was some money they went after they didn't get. They were short. All right. They were short maybe a couple $1 million. Now they think with the demolition project, and actually the estimated cost, I don't know how they did it, but it's a little less than it was originally. It's in the fours somewhere, like 4.8 million.
Okay.
They feel that with the capital money they got from the state, a brownfield remediation grant that they can use for a memorial building project, with money that the city council and the administration put aside in previous budgets because they knew that they would need some local money for a memorial building project, and with the extra money that is in the budget now that they think they can apply, it's already appropriated to this project, they feel that they can go ahead financially on this if they can agree on what to do.
Okay, well, that was going to be my next question. So you answered it. Is there money to pay for this?
They believe that there is, and frankly, what it comes down to is there's income tax money that they can use. That's why we have all the paved streets. That's why we have match money for infrastructure projects. And frankly, it's more money than they thought they were going to have. And they've done a lot of things with it that are positive and good. I don't think anybody can argue that. But that makes all the difference.
Okay.
But anyway, I think that they will want to set a course of action once they have this meeting, or there could be more discussion. A couple of comments by councilmen made at the meeting. Ryan Peters and Aaron Young both expressed regret about maybe losing the auditorium, which is, part of the history and whatever.
I mean, didn't we all grow up playing Little League ball?
Right,
and
exactly.
There's been so many things that have happened in that auditorium.
But by eliminating the auditorium, they will create more parking space in the back for both employees and the public because, there's limited on-street parking the way it is now.
Sure.
So the building would be 2 floors as the concept is now, as the recommendation is, but there would be actually less floor space totally, yet because of the layout and because of because it's new and they've got it set up the way they want, they'll be able to put those agencies or those departments of city government back in there that are not in there now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more efficient. Now, they will have to come up with a way to Randy would like to maybe do something by the end of the year of the demolition part. Now that's all tentative. That's all tentative. There's got to be lots of agreement. Council's got to agree to contracts. They have to, do all the planning. It takes time, but they're also going to have to come up with a place to put the current offices while.
Right.
And he's not ready to reveal that, or they haven't come up with that part of the plan.
I mean,
yet.
that can all be worked out. But so who has the final say? Is it council that says so?
Well,
is it the mayor says because I want this, we're doing it?
Well,
who says?
The mayor's taken the lead on it, and I didn't really sense opposition to the plan. I didn't sense opposition when they said they were going to renovate. I think the renovation...
Something needs done.
Right.
One way or the other.
Right. The mayor has said this.
Done.
We can't just sit here and do nothing. Now, before... Frankly, before the income tax, there just wasn't money for it. There was feasibility studies then, and the sentiment then was to renovate because that was the community sentiment to preserve the building.
Sure.
All right, so this is a switch now to demolish and rebuild, but they feel that they have the money and they feel that they can go ahead. But as far as the final power, really it resides with council because they've got to approve a contract. If they don't want to demo and rebuild, or they want to do it another way, they obviously won't approve a contract to do it. But the mayor is the leader on this. There's no question about it. And I think that he's got the support on council.
Okay.
And, is there, kind of like feelings both ways? I'm sure that there is. But I think there's also an acknowledgement maybe that the building has seen better days, and it's time. And it's time to move on. And I think if they can come up with some way to honor the past, the limestone, and maybe some display inside, or whatever.
Yeah, I think reusing some of the materials would be super appropriate.
Right,
You know,
right.
to do that.
So anyway, this is something that's going to be very important to play out, and there was obviously a lot of activity on Facebook when we put that story on there. More pro than con, I think, but there was some folks who seemed to be who wanted to honor the preservation. Why are we always disposing of our old buildings when we can fix them up instead? And there were other people about the spending and so forth, just in general. So you're always going to have that. And as you know, because I know you're a Facebook person, once a thread starts, it is pile-on city.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's good or bad.
Well, let me ask you this, Pete. What grade school did you go to?
I went to Kinnison and Parkview both.
I wasn't real happy.
It was very traumatic when I moved 3 blocks and I had to change elementary school.
I'll bet. I wasn't real happy when Kinnison Elementary got torn down either, but we all survived it,
There was a great sentiment to keep that, but nobody could come up with who was going to keep it and pay for it.
And for what, So I don't know.
Well,
I mean, sometimes
we've lost all of our old school buildings except Parkview, and that was kind of the newest, and they found a way to use it.
Yep. I don't know. It's just sometimes things can be saved, sometimes they can't. I don't know.
But anyway, a couple of other things, because we've already run over. Don't forget, Thursday is a holiday. It is Juneteenth.
Yes.
A lot of the governmental offices, not quite all, will be closed. There won't be any mail delivery, so that's Thursday, June the 19th.
Okay.
Also, in Wednesday's paper, I'm a salesman as well as a newsman. We're going to have all the news we talked about today, and we're going to gather all that Austin powder stuff, the update. And we're talking about 3 different related stories about the update, and that is going to be a continuing story, obviously, there. The Austin powder at the Red Diamond plant and that chemical release. Right now, no known health impacts, no injuries, nothing like that. But it's still a little bit of the unknown there. So anyway, we'll wrap all that up in a bow and have that in our Wednesday paper.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Pete.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you all for tuning in. It was a really fun day today, and we appreciate it. And we will be back here tomorrow, and we'll have some more fun. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.